Welcome back. This is part 3 of my Legend of Zelda run-through, if you could call it that. I'm just doing it dungeon by dungeon, and you see that? I got knocked backwards back into the dungeon entrance, which is pretty funny considering. See, I messed up horribly when I recorded this video. My microphone wasn't exactly configured properly, so when I thought I was muting the mic, I was actually turning the mic on. So the whole time the mic was off, and I was talking to myself like an idiot until the end of the video when I stopped everything and realized that there was no voiceover. So I'm having to do a separate voiceover to add to the video, which, you know, kind of sucks. Well, what's going on now is I was looking at the map and I saw that there was an entrance to a cave, and I couldn't figure out where the entrance was. So I started laying bombs. I might have been just a few inches off, but yeah, I couldn't figure out where that entrance was. But ultimately, this whole time, I was scouring the map for secrets that I could go around and maybe pick up a few heart pieces or any items that I was missing in order to aid me in my next dungeon, because the higher up you go, I mean, I know everybody knows this, if you've ever played a Zelda game, the more dungeons you go through, the harder they get. However, every once in a while you come across the phenomenon of when you start to play a Zelda game, the very first temple is harder than some of the other ones. But then it will increase in difficulty. It all depends on the player, really. I mean, it's, you know, whether or not you can see the solution of the puzzle that they're giving you, or you know, it's really hard to say depending on the player. Everybody has a different experience. But hey, did you see that? There's an overlay in the video on the right side. There's a fuck up on the video. I don't know. Maybe it won't show up when it's finalized, but it's there. You can see the right side raised a little bit, but maybe it's something I did. Oh well. At least you could see the gameplay. So even though I recorded this the same day, I did this video early in the morning, so I'm trying to remember exactly what I was doing here. Now, as you well know, I'm heading to the third dungeon, but I just can't remember. I can't remember the dungeon itself. I can't remember when I get out of the dungeon, and I can't remember if I necessarily need anything before going in, other than a heart piece or whatever. Well, in this game, they're not heart pieces, it's a full heart, but I mean, I kind of still call them heart pieces. You know, I'm used to playing so many of the other ones where you find quarter heart, and then you get 4 of them, and you get a full heart piece, or you get an extra life, you know, on your life gauge. An extra heart on your life gauge. Damn it. I'm sorry. But anyway, that's the only thing I could think of that you necessarily need before going, because this one's just slightly more difficult than the first two. Those things are a real pain sometimes. You gotta shoot your sword. Whatever it is he does with a sword, where he projects it out and it hits an enemy. Those little blue things are a real bitch. And those things that come out of the ground, man, I can handle them in A Link to the Past. Because, you know, you can see when they're about to come up so you can avoid the hole. But as you're running on this game, it's very hard to avoid it. Now, sorry, I was rambling. As you can see, I just found one of the caves that either has the medicine or the heart piece. You don't want the medicine. Just take the heart. Okay? Don't worry about whether or not you need the bottle for health or not, because the more health you have, the longer you last in the dungeon and in a boss fight. Especially the further you go. Sorry. In other Zelda games, you can get both. You can find empty jars, fill them full of medicine. But when you come across those caves that you just saw just a minute ago, or a few seconds ago, when you see those, you don't want to take the medicine because it's just something to trick you. If I'm not mistaken, there are shops where you can buy bottles of medicine, so it would be a lot better just to go find those shops. You know. And again, I know I keep repeating this, but always have a map handy when you play this game, because when you run around in circles like what I'm doing now, it's annoying. Very annoying. I wish I could remember all the times I stopped and why I stopped like that. I just keep pausing like I'm thinking I can't remember which way to go. I'm going back and forth. Man, I must have been really lost. Man, if you had enough time to waste on this game, I would suggest placing as many bombs in random locations as possible and just like marking them off the map. Because it's really hard to tell where all these secrets are. Like I passed one right there, and I bet you would never know unless you started to actually search for it. But see, okay, there's an item that I missed. Sorry. That's crucial, very, very crucial part of this game is the candle. And I came across it once, completely forgot to go back to get it, because I mainly went to get the arrows to continue on to the second dungeon. But once you have, I think it's 60 rupees, you go back to that shop where it's close to the beginning location. Like if you were to start out and you had the cave right there with the sword in it, and you had to go up one and over two, I think, or up one over one or something like that. You should be able to find it. It's not that far away from the beginning. But either way, it's crucial to the game. You don't really need it right off the bat, but once you have it, see those bushes I'm passing, instead of putting a bomb down like I just did like an idiot, you're supposed to walk over and use the candle. I don't think there's a magic gauge on here. If anything, it might just do the same that the arrows do and take away from the rupees. But yeah. See, okay, I think I'm about to get it. I think I'm about to go get the what's it called? Keep forgetting the names of these items. The candle. I guess I could have wrote some kind of script to go along with, or have a little extra something to talk about while I did this, but I don't know. I like flying by the seat of my pants. It's more exciting that way. Okay, that's the cave, by the way. I just walked in. and that's the candle. I was right, 60 rupees. Now, if I'm not mistaken, I think I'm going to try going back and looking for that secret passage in the bushes. Makes you wonder what all that is, if those other round things are bushes. Those things are bushes. So if those are bushes, what were those other things? Were they trees? I don't know. Green objects. I don't know what else to call them. Green objects. Ah, see? And like I said before, take the heart. Don't take the medicine. My stomach's growling. I'm starting to get hungry. I'm gonna make some burgers for dinner. Burgers. And French fries. Beautiful, delicious, golden, crispy French fries. Yeah, next time I record this, I really need to fix that. It's actually annoying. I mean, it's kind of too late to go back and redo the footage. I'd have to start the game all over again. But, yeah, it's really annoying. I got lucky just then. Did you see that? I was trying to hit one of them with my sword, and I ended up going right around him. If I'm not mistaken, that standalone bush to the left, I think if you, or tree, whatever it is, I think if you put a bomb there, I think there's another passage. Bomb or, I'm sorry. I can't remember if it's a bomb or if it's the candle. I just remember there being something there. Moving left along, going to the dungeon. Sorry, that's the best I can come up with at the moment. I just feel really bad for screwing up the recording. I just want there to be something to listen to other than the music, because the last episode I had the mic off and I just turned it on when I needed to tell you something, which, you know, was alright. When I rewatched the video, I didn't see anything wrong with it, but I can understand how somebody would be a little bit boring not to know what was going on through my mind at the moment, you know, when I was playing. The raw reaction, if it were, you know. Yeah, I keep clearing my throat, I'm sorry. And I can't remember if this there's somebody that you're supposed to take a tablet to. You find it up on the mountain and you take the tablet to him, and I think he's supposed to give you permission to go get a sword from the mountain. Okay, here's the third dungeon. I would have to look it up to see if I'm right or not, so don't take my word for it until I'm absolutely definitive. But I think that's what it is. It was some kind of weird thing. Okay, you know, in Ocarina of Time, where we had to go on that really long quest in order to get that big sword. I don't know if everybody was able to do that or figure it out, but you had to do this thing where you find a frog, and you take the frog back to the old guy, and you made eye drops. You take the eye drops to the giant Goron, or whatever they're called, and he uses them, and he stops crying, and he gives you a tablet, and blah, 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 blah. Like, it's one of those things, but it's like you find a tablet, you take it to the old dude in the cave, and he gives you something else, like permission to take the sword, and then you go back to the waterfall in the mountain, and you find And you find a sword. It's convoluted, actually. For 3 steps, it really is convoluted for this game. Because traversing across this map is a chore. It really is. I'm sorry, the outside map, not the dungeon map. I'm going off on another tangent. Anyway, can't remember why I paused it. Well, anyway, while I run around in circles and slice at the air like it's doing something, I didn't have too much trouble with this dungeon, but it was challenging, to say the least, not doing this for a really long time. I can vaguely remember the first time I played this game and going through these areas. There's another area like this, another dungeon, and there's a lot more enemies involved, and it's super, super annoying when you get there. But all I can remember was how hard the game was when I, played this for the very first time. Can't even remember how old I was, but I mean, all I can really remember is how much I just ran around the map. I never found one of the dungeons. It took me forever to learn that was the concept of the game, because, I mean, besides reading the story in the beginning, you really don't know that your main objective is to go to these dungeons and find these Triforce pieces at the end. It's one of those trial and error games where you have to keep playing it until you figure things out. I mean, I don't know. I don't know people's level of skill in 1986 when this first came out. But I'm sure it was just as challenging to them. They might have had a leg up on the story at the time. I mean, luckily, we all know the story of Zelda, The Legend of Zelda. No matter which game it is, it's all got a similar concept. They just changed the story slightly to make it an interesting experience for the individual games. And as you can see, the number of times I die increases with each dungeon. But it's okay. It doesn't take me long, and at one point in time, I actually considered giving up and making another video trying to take the dungeon, opposed to everything else I did prior to getting to the dungeon and picking up the heart pieces and other items. But these little guys, don't forget those little, when they're little like that, you can just kill them with a boomerang. He was sneaking up on me, not today. Sorry, guy. I was pushing on blocks, looking for secrets, because I couldn't remember if there was a hidden chest or something, because there are some areas where you wouldn't believe that there's just a hidden item just out of view. When you're running back and forth in a dungeon wondering, what did I miss? That's all you have to do is just push on a few blocks and bam, there's a chest. I hate these nights. They're such a pain in the ass. Oof. 3 different ways to unlock. I forget which way I went. I think I was deciding which way to go. That's pretty funny. Left it is. There's a map. Okay. I know how it looks. It's not what it looks like. I know it. I know it looks like it, but it's not. Now here's the explanation. Short explanation. You could actually look it up on your own. See, the Nazi Party adopted that symbol from another culture. Came from something else. Matter of fact, it's been used across the world on several occasions. It's just one of those things where Hitler thought by adapting this symbol, he'd be protecting his army by putting it on their flag, putting it on their shoulder, on an armband, whatever it took. He thought it was going to help. And I'm not saying the symbol doesn't work. I'm just glad it didn't help for him. Yeah, that wasn't playing very well. But anyway, yeah, look it up. The symbol came from something else. I think it's even designed slightly different on the flag than it is right there on that map. I'm gonna shut up now. I'm gonna change the subject. And I just died again. Don't you think it's weird that every beginning of a dungeon they have statues of fish and dragons? It's kind of weird. It's almost like they didn't know how else to decorate. I had nothing to follow up on that, sorry. Killed him with a bomb like that was necessary. Well. I'm not sure why I took my time and killed all those enemies. Now I'm pushing on blocks. I think it's the later dungeons I'm thinking of. It really is. I trapped myself in. Oh, that's what I was doing. While I was recording, I was explaining that those areas on the side of the wall, the left and right side, that look like there should be a door there. Some of those areas, not all of them, but some of these areas in later dungeons are like, they're just like in A Link to the Past, where you find an area on the wall where you had to blow up. It's like that. There's these random locations, they don't even pop up on the map when you go to them. You just go to the wall, place a bomb down, it blows open a hole, and you can walk in, you know, to the room. But it never pops up on the map. They're always little secret rooms. Even if you go into it, I mean, like, they stay secret. It's hard to figure out, like, oh, where was that room? You have to go into 100 different rooms until you can figure it out. I don't know why I exaggerate sometimes, but not 100 rooms. You know what I'm talking about. See how annoying these knights are? It's almost like they can't be defeated. I mean, they can be, but they go in random directions. Yet every once in a while, you wonder if there's extra programming that causes them to just say, you know what, I'm going to come at you now. But if you time it, it doesn't matter if you're going at walking toward them or not, they're completely random, which direction they walk. You know, I really considered cutting a lot of this out, but it would really take away from the natural, you know, the natural, that is not a word. The natural approach to playing a game. I still said it wrong, but you know what I'm trying to say. You know, I didn't want there to be a whole bunch of editing for you to see me just start and finish with no problem. I wanted it to have as many flaws as possible, as long as, you know, as long as they're legit flaws and not complete screw-ups like that freaking overlay on the right side. But, yeah. Anyway, as you can see, I just took my time to go to the fairy fountain again, because it really is worth it. It really is worth it. I'll be honest, I'm not sure if I forgot something in this dungeon or not. Dungeons like this, it's actually kind of hard to explore every single room. Sometimes you can actually just skip certain rooms depending on whether or not you need the items inside. Like an item you could skip is the compass. Or the map. You could skip either one and still complete the level. It's not recommended. You kind of need the compass in order to know where to go, because as you can see, looking at the strangely shaped map at the top of the left screen under where it says level 3, the red dot indicates where the Triforce piece is, not where the boss is. The boss is always in the room before it. So you can technically just wander all over the dungeon until you go into the boss room, but, you know, that map is the only map you have as far as to tell which room you already went into. So as you can see, there was a whole lot of rooms I completely skipped to begin with. I can't remember if I actually went through them or not, but be interesting to find out. I can't even believe I'm attempting to fight these knights. I know I was trying to get into that door, but I don't know. I'm not sure if it was quite worth it. I can always come back. See how screwed up that was? The whole screen was lopsided. Again, I don't know why I took my time to kill everything. It was one of those impulses, I guess. Little did I know, right here, is all I had to do was push that block on the left. See? Ah, it's the old man again. I forgot about this. I almost wonder if this was supposed to be a hint to how you can defeat the boss. I mean, usually when you walk into these rooms it is, but I mean, I didn't go and get the sword. And that was, I think this is the sword I was talking about. I don't know, I might have jumped the gun when I talked about it before, but this is the gun I was talking about. Sword I was talking about. You have to find this tablet and take it to somebody else so they can give you a piece of paper to verify that you're the hero to collect the sword or whatever. And before I called it convoluted, it's not really that convoluted. Mainly I was thinking about the Ocarina of Time. The quest, the really long quest that has nothing to do with the game, but it helps if you want that sword. But yeah, I didn't collect the sword, but I guess I'll try to do that in part 4. I don't know if I'm guessing I was meant to get it before level 3, but I mean, oh, excuse me. I pretty sure I can get it right after this. Pretty sure. Although I probably do need that sword. I mean, considering how long it's taken me to get through this dungeon anyway. But it's okay. I mean, yeah, I died a few times, but I'll get through it. Trust me, I already played through. This is just a second recorded voiceover, so trust me, I got through it. See, the reason why I decided to do The Legend of Zelda was mainly because even though I was in the middle of doing some stuff anyway, some other people were doing some videos that I was doing too, like Link to the Past, and I didn't want to ruin the game for the fact that he's playing it through for the first time, and I'm actually enjoying watching it. So I don't want to give anything away that I already gave away already. I don't want to give anything away. Whatever, you know what I'm trying to say. You know, it's actually kind of hard to watch me play through this over and over and over again until I get to the boss. So I'm not mistaken, I think I got sick and tired of having only 2 hearts, and I left again after a while, came back with full hearts. I mean, after all, there's no way in hell I'd be able to take on the boss with only 2 hearts like that. And these little guys don't give you crap. Might give you 1 heart every once in a while, but seriously, they give you crap. See? Nothing. I think I think that was exactly what I was trying to do, was just trying to get more hearts so I didn't have to leave. But all it was a waste of time. So let this be a lesson to the people playing this game. You want to take as much time as you can to search the world map in order to find all the hearts you can. Because once you have the bombs and your candle, there's loads of places you can go and look. So, you know, you always want to take your time to go and look for as many heart pieces as you can, all the items that you can collect that you can, and keep in mind that there's a ton of other things that you can get that you can't equip, but you can still use. Like for instance, you'll get a ladder, and when you walk to the edge of a platform and there's water and there's another platform on the other side, Link will lay the ladder down and move across the platform. You can also get what I think is a raft or a boat. I think it's a raft that you can use to get to certain locations and get things that aren't accessible just from when you start, you know, little gaps and bridges and stuff like that. But, you know, it's good to know that we're on our final stretch here. This is me going to the fairy fountain for the last time. I don't care if that's a spoiler. It's been actually painful for me having to go through this and make another voiceover. Very painful. I like to try to record everything all at once. Because, you know, there's no joy in going back and adding something when you already had the experience playing through it, you know? Takes away from the joy, it really does. Now here's what's funny. Considering the fact that I kept going through here and dying, ultimately I think that I was just trying to find everything I could for the sake of the video. Sorry again. But I think I finally said, you know what, enough's enough. I'm just going to go straight to the boss. Pretty sure I forgot something too. I mean, there's that one room that if you beat those knights, the door will open. Not those knights, but it's all the way on the left side of the swastika there. If you want to call it that. But it's over there, all the way on the left side, on the bottom. I think this is where I had the most trouble. Because trying to follow them, sometimes they want to turn around and just attack you the moment you're there, so it's constantly maneuvering. This was a lot easier, keeping your distance and just throwing your sword at them. See, I like what they did in A Link to the Past. When you get the Master Sword and you have full health, you swing your sword and it launches this energy circle thing of doom at your enemies, and you don't even have to get anywhere near them. You can just stand back and just go ba 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 and just destroy your enemy, which is really awesome. And this one, I guess it doesn't matter which sword you have, as long as you have full health, you could like launch your weapon. I'm sure that was the best they could do for representation. Sorry, I'm watching myself dodging these creatures and energy balls, and it's actually kind of distracting considering. Yeah, this was a real bitch. I'm just glad it didn't kill me. The next time, like on part 4, if I have multiple cases where I just keep dying and starting over, I promise I'll cut a lot out and make it shorter. Okay, this is the boss, and I just had the idea to use the arrows at a distance because there was no way in hell I was going to get close to that. And every time you shoot off one of those things, it gets faster, which it was kind of difficult, but as long as you think things through, I mean, you'll have no problem getting through this too. You know what I'm saying? It's not that difficult. It's challenging. And there you have it. Finally, the end of the dungeon. Oh man, I can't wait to start on part 4, but I'm so glad to be done with this one. If you watched it all the way through, pat yourself on the back, because that was some BS. Next time I'm just going to cut out all that extra BS and leave it, you know, to be viewed as the entire dungeon running through it. Yeah, it's kind of cheap, but hey, it beats having to watch all this extra crap, right? Well, anyway, I appreciate you watching, and take care. I'll see you again soon.